This is the story of how a 500-year-old Japanese toy quietly took over professional skateboarding, and it starts with something that looks nothing like a skate trick at all: a wooden cup and ball on a string. The kendama is deceptively simple: a handle, 3 cups of different sizes, a spike on top, and a ball connected by a string. The goal is to catch the ball in the cups or land it on the spike, using nothing but timing, wrist control, and an absurd amount of patience. It originated in Japan, evolving from an even older French cup and ball game, and for most of its life it stayed exactly where it started, as a children's toy and a mild obsession for a small dedicated community of Japanese hobbyists. Then skateboarders found it, and something unexpected happened. The connection starts with something every skater understands instinctively: the relationship between failure and repetition. Learning a kickflip means falling off a board hundreds of times before your feet finally understand the motion without you consciously thinking about it. Kendama works the exact same way. You will drop that ball hundreds of times attempting even a basic trick, and there is no shortcut around the repetition. For skaters already wired to treat failure as just part of the process, kendama felt less like a new hobby and more like a natural extension of a mindset they already had. Pro skaters started picking it up as a way to kill time backstage at contests, on tour buses, in hotel rooms between sessions, anywhere a full skateboard setup wasn't practical but restless hands still needed something to do. It became something close to a portable version of skating itself, a tool for stretch mode focus training without the risk of another slam on concrete. But the deeper connection runs through something skaters value more than almost anything else: style. Just like skateboarding rewards not just landing a trick but landing it with flow and originality, kendama has its own culture of freestyle, where players link tricks together into fluid combinations rather than just executing them one at a time. Skate media picked up on this immediately. Kendama tricks started appearing in skate edits and social clips, not as a novelty cutaway but as a legitimate extension of a rider's overall style and skill level. Japanese kendama culture itself was already primed for this crossover. Modern competitive kendama, especially the version that exploded in popularity called sport kendama, had developed its own trick progression, its own community-built terminology, and its own scene of dedicated players filming trick lines the same way skaters film lines down a stair set. When American and European skaters discovered that scene online, the aesthetic overlap was immediate. Both cultures valued the same things: difficulty, originality, and the satisfying visual snap of a trick landing clean. That online discovery mattered more than people give it credit for. Skate culture had already been shaped for decades by watching other people's tricks on video, from VHS tapes passed around at shops to endless clips online. Kendama's trick culture lived in exactly the same format: short clips of a single trick attempt after attempt until it finally connects. Skaters did not need to learn a new way of consuming or sharing this culture. It already spoke their visual language. Skate brands noticed the crossover fast. Companies that had spent decades selling boards, wheels, and shoes started producing their own branded kendamas, treating the toy less like a side product and more like a genuine extension of skate culture merchandise. Pro skaters began appearing in kendama trick videos with the same seriousness they brought to actual skate parts, and kendama companies started sponsoring skateboarders directly, recognizing that the overlap in audience was not a coincidence but a genuine shared culture. There is also a practical, almost meditative reason kendama caught on so hard within the skate world specifically. Skateboarding is loud, physical, and hard on the body. Kendama is quiet, small enough to fit in a backpack, and gentle enough to practice literally anywhere: on a plane, in a waiting room, at 3 in the morning when you cannot sleep before a big contest. For athletes whose entire career depends on their body holding up under repeated physical stress, kendama offered something valuable: a way to keep that same obsessive trick-focused mentality sharp without adding to the wear and tear. What makes this crossover genuinely interesting is that it was never manufactured by a marketing department. No skate company invented kendama to sell to skaters. The connection grew organically because two completely different cultures, born on opposite sides of the world and centuries apart, ended up valuing the exact same things: patience, repetition, and the specific kind of joy that comes from finally landing something your hands have failed at 100 times before. Today, walking through any major skate contest, you are almost as likely to see a pro flicking a kendama between runs as you are to see them checking their board. It is a small wooden toy that somehow speaks the exact same language as a skateboard, built on the same unglamorous foundation of falling, failing, and trying again until the trick finally clicks. That is the real story behind the kendama obsession. It was never really about the toy. It was about two cultures recognizing themselves in each other, one built on wheels, one built on a string, both built on the same relentless pursuit of getting one more trick exactly right.